Welcome back to the Story Traders podcast.
We've got a special guest with us, my beautiful wife, Isabelle.
Hi.
Isabelle, it's good to have you. We're going to be
Thanks.
talking, we're going to be telling stories about, we're going to be telling business stories.
Good old
Okay.
business stories.
Yeah, because like everyone in this
Good
room
times.
has a business. And we all get to interact with some interesting people at times.
Oh, yeah.
So, my story, okay, is so for reference, my business is like I do some financial coaching on the side and also have a YouTube channel, and I do all of like I do videos more recently on more of like a bi-weekly basis, just about like personal finance and stuff. And so
What's it called?
sometimes this is just my name, Caleb Bale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So sometimes
You're like, come on,
For the
get your name
listeners.
out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
For the listeners, you know.
yeah, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll get someone reaching out who's interested in sponsoring a video.
Oh, I think I know the story.
This is a crazy story. So what I ended up finding out at one point was doing like review videos for budgeting apps was doing really well on YouTube because
High
like
performance.
a lot of people would be searching that.
Yeah.
Very searchable. So I did this one video. I'd done a bunch of these budget app videos. I did this one for this budget app called Buddy, and I liked the app a lot. And I ended up getting an email from someone whose name was Ollie,
Ollie.
spelled slightly differently,
Interesting.
but in September 30th of 2022.
Whoa, that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
crazy. It was that long ago.
I know. And he said, "Dude, I just found your review of Buddy on YouTube. Loved it. That kind of content is so valuable and helps spread the word better than any clickbaity ad. Can I send you $1,000 as a thank you? It made my day. Best, Ollie, founder of Buddy."
That's so funny because I remember you reading that before and just
It's a
off the top of
scam.
my head, it
Yeah.
sounds so scammy.
It sounds so scammy. And
It really does.
I've gotten my fair share of scam emails.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you. And so I looked at that and I was like, okay, first of all, I'm not making very much money. I had literally, September of 2022, I had literally started getting like ad revenue from YouTube that month.
Okay.
And I hadn't even gotten paid yet. I think I would end up getting that paycheck in like November or something.
Yeah. Do you remember what your first month was?
My first month,
$40.
no, I think it was barely over $100.
Oh.
So I think I actually did
Pretty
get paid
good for
out.
your first month.
Yeah. So at the time, I'm not making very much money. I'd had like a couple very small sponsorships, but I saw that and I was like, okay, this seems like a scam, but I think I can work
worth
around and
checking
just
into.
check to see what is
Don't
going
give any
on. Okay.
personal information.
Yeah, exactly. So I responded, "Hey, Ollie. Sorry I didn't get to this. I just saw your email a couple days ago. Thanks for reaching out. I really appreciate the feedback. Genuinely like the app. I really appreciate the thanks. I certainly didn't do this for the money, but I wanted to give you an honest review. In all honesty, how would I know this isn't a scam? Please forgive my skepticism. I just try to be very careful nowadays with emails, especially because I don't get emails from people offering to give me $1,000. Thanks again."
Oh, such a nice email.
And he responds a day later. He responds with an emoji, a smiling face emoji.
Very professional.
Yeah. And he says, "If you just send me $1,000, then I will send back $2,000. Okay? Question mark. And I was like, this
You're like,
really does
okay.
seem sketchy. And then he says, "I basically pay more than that for advertising videos that aren't nearly as well crafted and genuine as your video, and I like to think that the world should reward people for doing good things, not just for the money. I couldn't find you on LinkedIn to verify myself, so here's my profile." And so I looked at that, and then he said, "Simplest and probably least scammiest would be if you just invoice me. If you do
Oh my
that
God.
with your clients and I'll just pay the invoice or something.
And you're like,
And I'm
okay, now we're
thinking-
talking. I could come up with an invoice.
I was like, okay, this is very interesting.
You're like, scammers don't ask for invoices,
Yeah.
do they?
Yeah. Well, and I thought through this so many times, and I was like, there's literally no possible way for him to get my money if I send him a PayPal invoice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I responded to him. I said, sounds like 100% return on my money. And then basically said, like, I try to be genuine with my viewers. So if I get paid for something, then I'm going to tell them, hey, this was a sponsorship. So I just suggested, I was like, why don't you, as the buddy owner, do a sponsorship on an upcoming video, and we can do it that way, and I can send you an invoice if you really want to do that. And so that was October 3rd, and I didn't get anything for 3 days. And I sent him the invoice. I was like, if you want to do this, you can pay the invoice, and we'll do a sponsored video.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything for 3 days. I'm on my way to work at like 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And my watch vibrates, and it's a notification from PayPal saying
You're like,
that I got
no.
paid $1,000.
And I was like, no way, it was legit?
That's crazy.
And I get to work, and he had sent me an email. He's like, yeah, I was thinking that you might want to do more of like a sponsorship. Anyways, the invoice has been paid now. Keep up the good work.
That's crazy.
And so I did a
That's
sponsorship with him for that one. And then I did another sponsorship later for like when he did like a big like reboot of the app.
Oh, wow.
And it was
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, it's like one of the best like business relationships that I've had with anyone is just from
That's
this guy
great.
that sounded kind of scammy right off the bat.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. And I've told a bunch of people that story, but
Yeah.
Props to you
That's
for
such
like
a-
entertaining it. I would have shut that down so fast.
You probably
Yeah.
wouldn't have even responded.
No, probably not. I would have just deleted the email.
yeah. I mean, it really goes to show how you come across in
Yeah.
your communication can make a big difference on,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
Does he live in the United States?
No, he lives in Sweden.
Whoa.
Yeah. So yeah, his name is spelled differently. It's OLLE instead of like OLLIE, like
Yeah.
my Ollie, Oliver. But yeah, I mean, I looked at his email address and everything, and it's got like the same domain name as like his actual budgeting app, and I was like, I think he's just got a different way of communicating since he's from another country, you know? And like, turns out he's just a super nice, genuine guy that just has this
to
app.
literally offer $1,000
awesome.
as a thank you.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah. So that's my story.
That's awesome.
Go ahead, Isabelle.
Okay, so for context, I own a bridal styling business. I'm not going to say the name because this isn't the best story, and I don't want word to get around to all your many, many listeners.
So many listeners.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out how to start. I had this one bride. Normally we do like a bridal trial before, just to kind of test the style. I get to meet them, see how it goes. Usually during the trial, I can tell if they really like the hair or if there's something a little off.
They're bluffing.
Yeah, if I need to figure out, okay, like I don't think they're 100% happy. I need to try and figure out what's wrong. With her, she was just very expressionless. Like I could not tell. Normally if they're not saying anything, it usually means there's something wrong.
Yeah.
So I was trying to like figure out, I was like, you know what? I think there's something wrong. So I asked her, I was like, do you like it? Is there anything you want to tweak? And she's like, yeah, I like it. But she said that even like in a more monotone.
Dang.
So I was like,
You're just like, oh boy.
yeah, I was like double checking, just making sure. I'm like, this is the trial. This is what it's for. Let me know. I won't be offended if there's anything you don't like. And,
And
she
for
was just like,
context, it's like you've had brides literally like cry when they see their hair. So for
yes.
literally no
Yeah,
expression,
no
that's like
smiles, nothing. I was like, okay. But
cry
she-
in joy. I will
Yes.
might,
Yeah.
might
Yes,
add.
yes.
Not
Cry
they're like,
with
"Oh, it's
happiness."
horrible."
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, there was no expression. I made sure to ask, and she said it was good. So I was like, okay, well, I did what I can. I made
Trust the
sure.
process.
So after that, I was already kind of like dreading the wedding. I'm like, I just am not vibing with this bride. Like, normally I'm excited to see them again and do their actual wedding hair, but I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. Anyway, fast forward to wedding day. Got to the hotel that we were doing the hair at. Normally, the hotels, if they're getting ready at a hotel, it's like a presidential suite or just a bigger room where there's more space. This one was a tiny little, just normal bedroom with the bridesmaids crammed in there. It was a smaller bridal party, so it was just me doing the hair. But it just was already crammed. There was the bride, her sister, and then her best friend. Her sister had like a teenage daughter. Her best friend had a teenage daughter as well.
Whoa.
The bride had a little toddler son who was running around wreaking havoc. He was making messes with his food, screaming, crying. He kept getting shouted at. They were cursing at him.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, oh my goodness, what have I gotten myself into? I was genuinely thinking like, I am not charging enough. I need to be,
You're like, hopefully the check clears.
I need to be charging more. So just to kind of set the stage, it was already just very kind of chaotic. I was already kind of dreading it. Doing the bridesmaids' hair and everything was like chaotic, but like fine. You know, everything's going decently well as far as hair styling goes. Until the two daughters started just bickering, little like jabs here and there. The one girl was just very short answers. The other girl would ask her a question or like ask her to do something and she'd just be like, sure, fine, whatever. And she just had these like sassy little responses.
She was asking for it.
Yeah, she was just not being very kind. But the other one was getting very annoyed with it. And she's like, what is your problem? And the girl is just snapping back at her. I don't remember everything that was being said, but eventually it got to the point where the girl who was being really sassy, she jumps up on her feet and she goes, do you want to go right now? She's like, we'll go out in the hallway. And I'm standing back in the corner like with really big eyes, but I'm also trying to like mind my business.
Like, who wants the scissors?
I'm like just trying to do hair, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, if there actually is a fight, like, am I going to be a witness? Do I need to call the cops?
Oh my gosh.
If I call the cops on these daughters, like,
They got to turn on you.
yeah,
You're like, I'm for sure not getting paid.
what does that mean for my business? So I'm just back here like, what is happening and how did I get here, basically? But one of the moms, she just shouts at them and tells them to shut up and sit down. And
Oh my gosh.
they listen and they sit down and it's fine. But the whole like atmosphere is just off. Like, this is a wedding day. You're supposed to be happy and looking forward to getting married, but everyone is just like, the attitudes are just not good.
Without that mom, they genuinely probably would have gone outside.
They would have
and got
gone out into the
tuffle.
hallway in the middle of the hotel
Tussled around.
and they would have
fighting.
been fighting, pulling each other's hair out, ripping each other's eyelashes off. It
Well,
was,
that makes your job harder if you're cutting their hair and they're
Yeah.
just pulling their hair out.
yeah, it was interesting.
night.
But all that to be said, I was wrapping up the hair, finishing up the hair, finished the bride's hair, and again, expressionless. But I was like, peace out, guys.
I am
Like,
done here.
I got paid the day before.
Oh,
which
Oh,
nice.
you did?
yes, I
Oh, that's good.
actually always have people pay ahead of time.
Good call.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's basically the story. But
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Would
Wow.
you not show up if they didn't pay you before?
no, I would.
would.
I'm too nice like that.
too
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. But I
That's probably good.
often, like, wedding mornings, it's just chaotic anyway, and they forget to pay. So,
Yeah.
A couple bonus ones. I had a bridesmaid throw up while I was doing her hair because she
Oh
was
my
hungover
gosh.
from the day before.
Oh, that's fun.
And then the other one, I had a bridesmaid spike her water bottle because she was proving to everyone that she was staying hydrated. But she was already drunk, and it wasn't even time for the wedding yet. So,
Oh
Yeah.
my
She
god.
She spiked it for
Spiked
what
it?
reason?
Spiked
she
your
like
empty
she
water
chugged
bottle?
it, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
she
okay,
chugged
okay.
it and then threw it on the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah.
She's
She was like,
what? I got water in my system.
exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, those are my
She deals with all the
interesting
crazies.
stories.
Wow.
Yeah.
My word. So my story is, obviously I got the greenhouse, but in the summer, the greenhouse slows down enough that I do landscaping. So I'm only open at the greenhouse 3 days a week, and I do landscaping the other couple days. Oh, might have to cut that out.
Yikes.
Oh,
Goodness gracious.
Sorry. Cross between a cough and a sneeze. Ugh. Anyways, I was doing work for a lady actually out by you. She was out in Powell. And let's see. So she was like kind of in and out all day. She wasn't like leaving, but she would like, I would be working. She'd pop outside and kind of look, not like the super like over your shoulder kind of customer, but like she wanted to see what I was doing.
She just want to make sure you weren't screwing up.
Yeah, yeah. Which I don't mind that. She wasn't being super annoying about it. But she pops out through the day, and I'm probably about like 3/4 of the way through this job, and she pops out and she's like, yeah. She has some questions, whatever. I answer them, and her garage door was open, so she goes back through her garage and then comes like right back out, and she's like, I don't believe this. I was like, oh, what? And she's like, I locked myself out of my house. I was like,
You're like, is your check inside?
yeah, exactly.
How you gonna pay me?
Yeah.
She's like, I locked myself out of the house. I was like, I was just trying to think like, surely she's already thought through this, but like maybe she's in shock that like maybe I can help her think of solutions. So I was like, do you have a spare key somewhere out here? She's like, no. Well, my neighbor has keys, but he's gone and won't get back until like 5 or something. I was like, do you have...
You're looking, it's like 10:30 a.m.
Yeah. It was like probably 2:00 or something. I was like, so do you have something you're trying to get to? She's like, yeah, I have an appointment in like 30 minutes. I have to leave. It's like 30 minutes away. And actually, coincidentally, she was trying to get to a hair appointment. Oh. And I was like, well, I mean, you could just skip that and go to my wife. She's right down the road.
Yeah.
Just walk there. Do a little walk in.
Yeah.
So she's just like kind of shell shocked. And I was like, do you have your phone? Can you call somebody? She's like, no, my phone's inside. I was like, wow, boy, my customer
You're like,
is
how
in
am I-
a pickle.
How am I coming up with all these solutions?
Well, I wasn't coming up with any
Yeah.
solutions. I was only coming up with questions. So at this point, I was like, well, like she doesn't have a key. Her neighbor's not home who has the key. She doesn't have her phone. I was like, do you want to borrow my phone? She's like, that would be fantastic. I was like, okay. So I give her my phone. Had to make sure it was like unlocked, obviously, because she can't call anyone otherwise. So then I'm like, she's trying to look up like the key people. What are they called?
Locksmith?
Locksmiths. That's their names.
Yeah.
So she's like looking up locksmiths and like just calling person after person after person. But like simultaneously, I'm trying to just keep working on the landscaping, but also like, not that I don't like trust her or anything, but like trying to keep an eye.
I want to make sure that you get your phone back.
She's not Venmoing herself.
Yeah. I mean, let's
Yeah.
just make sure that while she's looking, there's like an appropriate amount of gaps of time on the screen looking at hopefully what locksmith to call next, and then time like on the phone with people. She's just like calling away, whatnot, and then so she gives the phone back to me. She says like one person wasn't able to get here in time, but there's one locksmith who's on the way over or whatever. And I'm like, okay, great. So she's just like kind of chilling outside and just waiting on the locksmith. And then I start like getting callbacks from locksmiths.
Oh my gosh.
But like, I don't know that they're locksmiths because I mean, I get calls from people all the time. So then I'm picking up calls and they're like, yeah, there's the locksmith. I'm like, oh, I'm the wrong person. Here's the phone. Here's the person who needs the locksmith. So then I keep on like giving her the phone back and whatnot. And then eventually, like her neighbor actually, before a locksmith even shows up, her neighbor who has the key to her house gets home like ridiculously early for whatever reason. So she's like, oh, that's my neighbor. So she goes over and I'm like, okay, so you've like, you said that there was like a locksmith coming. Like, do you need to cancel that? And she's like, I got it all. I canceled everything, whatnot. I'm like, okay. So she gets her key from the neighbor. She goes inside. She gets the final stuff she needs for the appointment. So then she actually, I think she'd already written me a check, I believe. But so she gets in her car, she leaves. And then after she's gone, a locksmith pulls
my
up
gosh.
and is like, he's like, you need the house unlocked? I'm like, okay, so awkward situation. I'm just the landscaper. She locked
Listen,
herself.
I'm just contracting.
She locked herself out of the house, and she said that she was borrowing my phone. She said that she had canceled everything she needs. So I am sorry, but she doesn't need you anymore. So he took it fine, but I felt like annoyed on his behalf because he'd shown up and.
You're like, listen, there's not much difference between you and me. It's just I have work here and you don't.
Yeah, exactly. So
goodness.
that was a whole story, but it was an interesting little situation.
Oh my word.
Customer
Yeah, I
got
haven't
herself
ever heard that
into.
one before.
Yeah,
I have a couple times.
Yeah.
yeah. It's a little bit more detailed though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. We've got another comment from Isaac. He's a
Oh.
prolific commenter
He is a
on our
Thank you,
YouTube
Isaac.
channel. So go to our YouTube channel, Story Traders Podcast, leave a comment. Make it so that Isaac isn't the only one. Not that we don't like your comments, Isaac. Okay, so this is from one of the truck mishaps episodes.
Okay.
He said, "Wait, did Pops say the muscle car he grew up with was a Model T?" I knew he had been around the block a time or two, but dang.
I am missing the joke.
Model T is a tractor.
Yeah. No.
Oh, it's not?
No,
I was
Model
gonna say I
T-
don't think it is.
Model T was like
I at least know
was like
that.
Henry Ford's first vehicle.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, so it was like the early 1900s.
Okay.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Model T.
texted Isaac
So he's
later.
making him to sound older than he is.
Yeah,
Super
for sure.
old.
Gotcha.
I texted Isaac later. I was like, "Dang, your comment was fiery." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know what I was feeling." It's like, "Oh man,
What got into him?
yeah." So,
Boy, wait
Leave
till
us,
our dad hears that.
yeah.
He'll laugh.
He will.
Yeah. He'll
So
think it's
leave
funny.
us a comment, leave us a 5-star review on all of the places that you listen to podcasts, and thank you for joining us, Isabelle.
Thanks for having me. It's fun.
Thank you.